The Christians are not the only group of Pakistanis whose civil rights are being violated. The Ahmadis are, as a rule, educated and economically independent, but they have been declared as non-Muslims by law.
You cannot get a passport, you cannot get your identity card, you cannot join government service, you cannot be on the bridge team. I know this because my brother was asked to represent Pakistan in the World Bridge Championships. But you are asked you cannot do any of these things and many, many more until you sign a little declaration which says that I am a Muslim and I believe that the Ahmadis and what they believe, they are imposters. There's a lot of abuse. You have to abuse the Ahmadis to prove that you are a Muslim.
Higher education has not guaranteed the Christians economic success. The Christians are still sweepers in the public eye. The Muslim teacher of home economics may still refuse to taste the food that Christian girls have prepared in her class. Christians are still knocking at the doors of the majority for work.
Please give us jobs. And they are saying, A, we have no jobs, and B, you will get jobs after the rest of us have had our share. I submit that in today's world, and one of the ways through which we can really help this community, at least in Pakistan, is to help change their paradigm. Help them to stand on their own feet.
The Christian communities in the West can't be models for the Christians in Pakistan. Pakistani Christians are looking for a paradigm that would make them economically independent, like the Jewish or Asian communities in London. For the Islamic fundamentalists, the Ahmadis, Christians and Hindus are like dust that has to be swept away, and the blasphemy laws are a handy tool. Section 295C of the blasphemy law says, "Whoever by words, either spoken or written, or by visible representation, or by imputation, innuendo, or insinuation, directly or indirectly defiles the sacred name of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, shall be punished by death."
Here in Pakistan, we can never, ever dream of insulting the Prophet of Islam. We respect him and respect our brother Muslims. Nobody in his sane mind would ever like to insult the name of God.
रहमत मसीह जो था ये थोड़ा सा पढ़ा हुआ था 5वीं तक और ये इवेंजलिस्ट टाइप आदमी था. इसके बेटे ने एफए करनी तो इसने कहा कि मैं चर्च पे स्पीकर लगाऊंगा. इस स्पीकर से झगड़ा बढ़ता बढ़ता उन्हें ब्लास्फेमी केस में इन्वॉल्व किया गया और उन्हें घर बार 32 खानदान वहाँ से डिस्टर्ब हुए उस गांव से. उनको घर बार छोड़ना पड़ा.
The Christians managed to stop the plan to mark a person's religion in their identity cards, but the blasphemy laws have really frightened the Christian community.
यानी इस कानून को हर शख्स ने जाती रंजिश, पॉलिटिकल रंजिश की बिना पर, सियासी रंजिश की बिना पर उन लोगों के खिलाफ इस तरह के मुकदमे बनाए और गिरफ्तार कराया और बेगुनाह लोग कत्ल हुए. सलामत जो जब मुकदमा बना 93 में तो उसकी उम्र 11 साल थी और वो बिल्कुल अनपढ़. इल्ज़ाम था कि वो दीवार पर, मस्जिद की दीवार पर फाशा अल्फाज लिख रहा था जो लिख नहीं सकता.
Lawyers defending an accused are threatened, and the judge who acquitted Salamat was murdered. The killer has not been arrested. Christians can make their voice heard only where there are Muslims who defend the rights of the Christians. Among the human rights activists, we also find Muslim women. Their situation is very similar to that of the minorities.
ताहिर इकबाल जो मुसलमान था, कन्वर्ट हुआ था, उसे 90 में इसी जुर्म में गिरफ्तार किया गया. वो माजूर था नीचे से, ये उसकी तस्वीर लगी हुई है पहला, और उसको कत्ल किया गया जेल के अंदर. उसके ख़िलाफ़ हमने मूवमेंट चलाई और आसमा जहांगीर ने वो मुकदमा लड़ा.
The struggle for human rights reached a tragic stage in the spring of 1998, when a Roman Catholic bishop, John Joseph, committed sacrificial suicide in front of the courthouse in Sahiwal. A few weeks before his death, Bishop John Joseph had visited Rome and presented a paper on Islamic fundamentalism in Pakistan. He stated that the fundamentalists mobilize the emotions of the people. They're not ready to compromise and are willing to die for their cause. The main victims are the religious minorities, which they think are dangerous to society. The second group are women, who they believe are inferior to men, the root of evil, and without any understanding of worldly affairs. Bishop John Joseph also explained that the other victims are those who have a secular, liberal, or enlightened outlook, especially the intellectuals and the human rights activists. For the fundamentalists, everyone in the Western countries and westernized Muslims are enemies of Islam.
We are standing at a very dangerous, at a very critical point in time. And this is partly why Islamic fundamentalism also exists. It is a reaction to, not to the missionary activity, I want to make it clear. It is not the missionary activity, but it is this attitude of the Westerner then. And if you tell someone, you keep telling them you are crazy, you are a mad dog, you are a barbarian, he will then behave like one eventually if you will not listen.
The death of Bishop John Joseph did not stop the Muslim extremists, who only saw his suicide as an arrogant, defiant gesture.